What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today, we've got another live fantasy football mock draft for you back on FantasyPros with a 10-team full PPR mock where we'll be selecting first overall. Should be really interesting. Our roster, 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, a flex, and then 5 bench spots. But that's pretty much it. So let's kick this thing off. And while we wait for it to load, a quick reminder, if you enjoy, hit that like button, subscribe, give us a follow on Twitter at AllDayPigskin to continue interacting with us there. Let us hear in the comment section. Agree, disagree. Along with any other questions you guys might have. We'll do our best to answer them all. But with that being said, let us get this thing going. So we've got the first pick overall, like I mentioned before, in a 10-team full PPR mock. The first overall pick, Christian McCaffrey. Right now, you see the injury marker next to his name. He's dealing with a calf strain and probably not going to play in the preseason. But there's no real expectation of him missing like week 1, week 2 type of action. We think he's going to be all right. So unless this thing takes a turn for the worst, we're going to treat it as if he will be available for the majority of the season. And as long as that is the case, he is still the first overall pick. Now, if you want to pivot to another running back like a Bijan or a Breece Hall, I don't blame you, but I still think Christian McCaffrey is the 101 pick here. But let's see what happens in the second round because, again, when you have the first overall pick, it's typically 99.9% of the time Christian McCaffrey, and then you just wait to see who will fall to you and if there's really any tremendous values still left available. And that's what we're going to take a look at right now, right? So looking at the board to begin with, after our Christian McCaffrey pick, you see CeeDee Lamb, then Breece Hall, followed by Tyreek, Jamar, Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra, Bijan at the 108, might be the steal of the draft. Then A.J. Brown, Garrett Wilson, Jahmyr Gibbs. Speaking of a player that's dealing with an injury, I believe it's a hammy for Jahmyr Gibbs. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see if these late preseason type of injuries that aren't severe maybe knock some people down on the board, and if we can take advantage of that come our actual draft days. TBD right now, but honestly, if they're high-level players, I don't think that will be the case. Then after Jahmyr Gibbs, Jonathan Taylor, Barkley, Puka, Kyron Williams, Mike Evans, Devontae Adams, Travis Etienne, Marvin Harrison. So, anything crazy here? No, not necessarily. I think the fact that Chris Olave and Drake London are still there for me is really, really tempting. I like both of those guys. Cooper Kupp is also somebody that's been kind of going up rankings with Puka being a little bit banged up. We could go with another running back here like a Pacheco, like a Rachaad White, Jacobs, Kamara, etc. But I think there might be a small chance that we have one of these running backs fall to us. And I've already got that quote-unquote hero running back, right, with Christian McCaffrey. And for that reason, I will go with the wide receiver position. And I'm going to go with 2 guys that I like in Chris Olave and then Drake London. And, kind of hope that we have this thing break our way now. Looking at the draft board after we went Olave and Drake London, securing our 2 starting wide receivers, Derrick Henry, Pacheco, makes sense, Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen. So the first quarterbacks go in the middle of the third, Travis Kelce, Kamara, Achane, Pittman, DJ Moore. Then in the fourth, Sam Laporta, Rachaad White, Patrick Mahomes. So again, a full round after the first quarterback taken. Much better value here. James Cook, Josh Jacobs. Now, pretty much all those running backs that we were looking at have gone, except one name. Nico Collins, Brendan Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, Cooper Kupp. If Cooper Kupp was there for us, I would have loved that start of trio wide receivers with Olave, London, and Cooper Kupp. But here, I think that, the move might be to go with a Joe Mixon. Again, I know Joe Mixon's a little bit banged up right now, too. You look at he's dealing with a hamstring issue, but his issue was one where it happened a little bit ago, at this point, a couple of weeks ago, and wasn't severe, something of that nature. So I think Joe Mixon on this offense with Houston is a decent pick at this point in time. So we're going to go Joe Mixon, and then here, Kenneth Walker, Aaron Jones. I think both solid choices. But, I am pretty tempted by Trey McBride. I don't know if Dalton Kincaid would make it back to us if we waited. maybe we should get another running back considering, the quote unquote status of these other guys. Even though, again, I will say it, I don't envision either one being unavailable for the start of the season. So I think what I'm going to do here is I will secure myself with another running back, whether it's Walker, whether it's Aaron Jones. I personally think that Aaron Jones probably has, for me, the higher upside in PPR because of his pass catching ability. So we're going to go with Aaron Jones. And then let's see what happens at the tight end position. So here, there was a run on the tight ends. Yeah. After we went Aaron Jones, Lamar, Stephon Diggs, Kenneth Walker, Ramondre, Jalen Waddle. There goes McBride at the 507, sure. DK, Devonta Smith, Keenan Allen, then a couple quarterbacks off the board here with CJ Stroud, Anthony Richardson, Mark Andrews, George Pickens, Malik Neighbors, DeAndre Swift, and here's the tight ends that I was hoping at least one of them would make it back to us: Kincaid, George Kittle, James Conner. So Kincaid was the guy that I wanted, but doesn't go that way for us. So I think right now I'm going to honestly select another running back here, a high upside running back in Zamir White, and then probably a wide receiver at this point in time. Amari Cooper, not a bad choice. Zay, Christian Kirk. I might go with Evan Ingram later on, so let's go with T. Higgins here as our flex guy, and then I think it'll pay off having waited on tight end. I do. Yeah, Evan Ingram and Kyle Pitts are still both there, so we could go with one of them at this point in time. I also do like Deontay Johnson as a PPR type of weapon. Looking at some other running backs, like Jonathan Brooks is a late season type of pick. I think we're going to do a decent job. And again, it's a 10-team league, and you're going to have a decent amount of depth on these type of rosters. We've already got Drake London, so adding Kyle Pitts might be a little bit overkill. Let's go with Evan Ingram here. We don't know if he would make it back to us, so we're going to go with Evan Ingram. And now at wide receiver or running back, I wonder if Jonathan Brooks would still be there for us if we waited. I'd probably lean no. But I'm gonna go with another running back here. You can never have enough running backs, so let's go with Jonathan Brooks. I like him as far as a late season type of stash. And then we'll see what happens at the wide receiver position. We could have also gone with the quarterback like a Kyler Murray or a Dak Prescott, but I thought that getting Jonathan Brooks and Evan Ingram was a pretty good deal right there. We also did have those other tight ends go, namely Kyle Pitts, Ferguson, who would have been the top two choices left for me. Here, I'm looking at some other names. Jerome Ford was selected. So, yeah, where did Jerome Ford go? He went right here at the 10:06. I think, basically, if we didn't go Jonathan Brooks, probably would have gone with a Dak or a Kyler Murray, but I'm not too worried, honestly. We'll be fine at the quarterback position. We, again, as always, can go a high upside guy like a Jaden Daniels and then a proven vet afterwards. So here I'm going to go Ladd McConkey, a rookie wide receiver that's been getting a lot of hype and could end up being the number one weapon for Justin Herbert. And now I will go Jaden Daniels as that high upside quarterback. And I will probably back him up with a, proven vet. And that category of guys would be the ilk of the Staffords, the Rodgers, the Kirk Cousinses of the world. I'm going to go personally with Aaron Rodgers. And we're going to call this thing, a draft. I'm curious to see the draft grade we will get. We get an A- grade. So let's break it down a little bit, right? We started off with Christian McCaffrey. Then we were able to get Chris Olave, Drake London in the second, third round. I think both can be solid wide receivers. London is a breakout for me. I think Olave in PPR formats is going to be a solid play. I don't think he's going to necessarily be a top 12 guy, but he can be a solid contributor. And then we got Joe Mixon in the fourth, which I thought was decent value. Also decided to get Aaron Jones as a little bit more depth at the running back position. And then we weren't done, right? We got Samir White and Jonathan Brooks. So we're really strong at the running back position. And I think that at wide receiver with T. Higgins on the bench and a Lad McConkey, we did all right there too. Quarterback, wasn't too worried about it. Jaden Daniels, really high upside guy. Aaron Rodgers can be plugged in. And Evan Ingram at tight end. So I think it's a pretty decent roster. I'm happy with this. I love the running back depth. That is the strength of this team. Gives you some flexibility there. But let me know your thoughts. Agree, disagree. If you guys enjoyed, hit that like button, subscribe, give us a follow on Twitter at AllDayPigskin to continue interacting with us there. But in the meantime, we'll see you guys in future videos.